So there's no questions. There's no questions in the room. Then thank you so much for your presentation, and we continue with the next work that is entitled Successful Erasmus Plus Projects, Some Case Studies, that will be presented by Maria Goretti Alonso de Castro. Goretti, you have the floor.
I had the micro mute. I'm going to share my presentation. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's see. First of all, dear colleagues, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present my paper, Successful Erasmus Plus Projects, Some Case Studies, that is based on a research work that is being carried out within the University of Salamanca PhD program on the education in the knowledge society with the mentoring of Francisco José García Peñalba. One of the reasons and motivation for this research is to find indicators that could help to carry out success educational projects in the ICT and e-learning, because the world is becoming increasingly technological, with a greater use of information and communication technologies in the daily life of any person. Bank transactions, public administration management, shopping are becoming more digital and sometimes require the use of specific apps. This gives rise to the need to empower people with the necessary skills to participate effectively in a growing digital world. International and national institutions are aware of the need in achieving improvements in learning using ICT, including e-learning. In fact, the European Union encourages the implementation of ICT-based projects in the European Educational Project programs. In the case of Erasmus Plus, for example, ICT is one of the priorities and topics considered for funding, for project funding. In the Erasmus Project Results Platform, which contains all the projects funded for the Erasmus Plus program and its predecessor programs in education, youth, and sports since 2007, we find more than 20,000 projects related to e-learning or ICT. These projects are classified, hence it allows the selection of those that are labeled as good practice or success stories. Therefore, the purpose of the research source of this article is to collect relevant information on the projects that are being developed in this field and extract indicators that make some of them to be considered good practice or success story. The objective is to extract useful lessons for future projects that can inspire educational centers that are starting or need ideas on how to develop projects with real impact and whose results can be sustainable and useful over time. The methodology for this research is based on a mixed methodology that combines quantitative and qualitative analysis, taking advantage of the combination of strengths of each one of them to answer research questions, and in this case, the guide for systematic reviews of research projects have been used as a reference to achieve that goal. The process in this methodology consists of 4 stages, as you can see on this slide: a study definition, the selection definition, project selection, and analysis. In this case, the analysis stage has been structured in 3 phases till now. Firstly, the project has been reviewed on the Erasmus platform, gathering the main data regarding their field of work, the results achieved in both institutions, etc. Secondly, a questionnaire has been implemented and sent to the project's coordinators in order to collect important information related to their possible success and ICT used. And finally, an interview phase has been carried out only with those projects with results sustainable along the time and with teachers and students involved. Let's start with the survey design. That was the second phase that I have described in the analysis process. The design of the survey has been based on diverse questionnaire design theories from different papers with the definition of different types of open, closed, structured, semi-structured questions, the methodology, the way of writing the question that is very important that is made in a clear language, group and order, and with a recommended number of questions. The survey was divided into 6 sections, as you can see in this slide. The first one is for the identification of the project. The second one was for the taking, note of global aspects of the project. The third one was regarding the students and ICT. The fourth one was related to teachers and ICT. The fifth one was related to other aspects related to several areas in terms of use and sustainability of the results obtained from the projects, among other things. And all of it involved 21 questions, with 90 of them dichotomous and 2 of them open-ended, so as they can explain themselves better. And the average time for filling the survey was more or less 20 minutes. Regarding the design of the interview, it was designed as a semi-structured interview because it is one in which the interviews can be exposed to the same script, although with freedom in the axis that guide the answers without forcing the order of the questions. So this modality has been chosen to collect information of interest from the interviews in a friendly and open way, giving them the possibility to express themselves about the aspects that were of interest in relation to the success of the project. The 3 areas of interest were, first, to know to what extent and in what way teachers and students were involved in the projects. Second, the usefulness of the results achieved in the project and its materials beyond its complexion. And third, how these were useful in the pandemic, because due that the research has been carried out during the pandemic period, this is an important factor to see that the results have been useful during that period of time. The implemented methodology was, as you can see on this slide. First, the script was prepared with the questions related to the proposed topics, in addition to a part that was for the validity of the previous questionnaire. The second part was to make the mapping with those questions from the made for the script with those that we used in the questionnaire. The third was the validity that was done with the 2 initial interviews. And the fourth has been to carry out all the interviews. For that goal, several stages were carried out. First of all, we sent an email to all the coordinators selected for those projects that met the 3 proposed requirements. And those interested in collaborating confirmed the meeting, the possible meeting. So after that, I gather all the information from the Erasmus Plus platform and the previous questionnaire, and carried out the Google Meet the interview. At the end of the interview, all the annotations are cleared and sent to the interviews so they can review and correct what they consider necessary and adapt it as better as possible as the reality of the project. So the results. As regards the results, first of all, regarding the first stage, that was the analysis of all the projects, the selection of the projects. We started to search in the Erasmus platform for the eLearning token, with the learning toolkit all together, and with the slots, both of them, and we found almost 10,000 projects related to that topic. But we filtered and only projects labeled as good practice and success stories were chosen. And at that stage, we had 1,200 projects that met that criteria. And after that, we filter again and take only actions, key action 1 and key action 2, because those actions are more related to schools that were our focus group that we intended to investigate, to research. And afterwards, we focus on those projects in which we had educational centers participating in the project, because it's an important factor in the research. And after all this filtering process, in the end, we had a total of 849 projects. So, and we sent to all of them the questionnaire, but only 187 projects gave a response to the questionnaire. What is fine, because it's a 22% of the rate response. Regarding the main results of the questionnaire, the most prominent results, the most prominent success factors could be indicated as attended to a real and concrete need of the students and teachers of the educational sector of the project, the coordination and collaboration of all the partners of the project before, during, and after the project, the sustainability of the project over time, since it continues to be used and updated, and the participation and involvement of teachers and students from the educational sector of the project. Those are the main success factors. And in the case of students and the use of ICTs, it should be noted that the most representative sector is school education. In the case of students, ICT tools are used focus on basic skills related to office maintenance, presentations, as well as collaboration platforms. And regarding to ICT devices, both laptops and desktops are the most used. As regards as teachers and their use of ICT, the results are very similar to those of students. The school education is also the most prominent sector, followed by vocational education and training, higher education and adult education. ICT tools used by teachers are also related to office automation, presentations, and collaboration platforms. And in addition, video and photo editing, the use of network resources and digital learning environments. As regards as ICT devices, in this case, also both laptops and desktops are the most used. And depending on the educational fields, perhaps tablets and smartphones are also very common. In general, for more than 20% of the projects surveyed, it can be said that the results have been positive with sufficient funds to be able to carry them out and with the capacity to continue using them after the end of the funding period. In addition, they have also been useful during the pandemic. And well, there are small variations that have been observed between educational fields, although not very pronounced. The sector that differs most is adult education, what is normal because it is a different target audience and includes continuous training processes. Regarding the interview, the main results is once the questionnaire phase was finished and the interview phase started, only 28 projects were met the three requirements, and the coordinator of these projects have been contacted to arrange an interview, and presently 22 coordinators have been participating in the interview. We have finished already this phase, the interview phase. And the article that is presented here only shows for the first 4 projects that were interviewed. Here you have on this slide the 4 first projects. One of them, 2 of them were from vocational education and training. One from Key Action 2 and another one for Key Action 1. One was related to entrepreneurial skills in the corporate ICT environment. It was called Intrapice. And the other one was related to internationalization of nurse assistant education. That was a mobility project. And there were other 2 projects, one of the youth field, but it was focused on secondary education students mainly. Because of that, I keep this project because it was very interesting, because it tackles summer acquiring soft and digital skills to non-formal time practice during the summer, especially for small towns in which they don't have so diverse activities, to choose from. And the 4th one was one related to school education, and it uses information technology to make the curriculum more, to have fun and get advantages of it in the curriculum practices and exercises. So those were the first 4 projects interviewed. In short, some common aspects of the projects analyzed are that they met the needs of their students and or teachers, and are linked with innovative topics that have a real incidence and use in the institutions involved. Furthermore, they can be extended or transferred to stakeholders or peers. And the learning outcomes and materials developed are used until now, adapted and integrated into the teaching processes, even sometimes in the curricula or student jobs afterwards. In addition, they have coordinated very well with the partners, keeping the relationships and implementing successive projects. And even in some cases, they have created networks, what is very, very important in this field. And regarding the use of ICT, all the projects use them as a complement to facilitate teaching and communication processes, not at the main goal. This is important because even choosing eLearning as the token for looking for projects in the Erasmus platform, in reality, when you analyze the project, you find that not all of them are in reality related to eLearning, but they use the eLearning practices and the ICT as a help to teach better. And well, as main results so far, it is interesting to highlight the importance of analyzing the needs of students and teachers in innovative topics that have a real incidence and use in the institutions. This is very, very important. And it's very important to adapt and integrate the project, its results, its outcomes into the teaching learning processes. This is something that is a key factor in the curricula, in the educational projects in the school. Additionally, it is desirable to have a good and stable relationship with most of the partners. And this is all from my side. Here you have all my data. Thank you very much for all your attention.
Thank you already for your presentation. Is there any question?
Everything clear.
So clear. And also, there's no question in Juba environment. Then thank you already for your presentation, and we